Hi, you guys. Welcome to day 2 of the 12 Days of Christmas giveaways. I'm so excited about these giveaways. You guys, if you knew me in person, you would know how much I love giving things to other people, how much I love serving. It literally makes my whole day. I'm so excited. And one of my business colleagues, I was just running the challenge through them, doing a tester with them, and I sent them day 1, right? The first email, and they were like, "You gave a 19-page freebie away?" And I was like, "Yeah, I actually took some pages out of it to kind of bring it down." And they were like, "You got to stop giving away so much meat." And I just know what I have to offer and what I bring. That doesn't even touch the tip of the iceberg. So it is my pleasure to give things away to you guys today. Let's hop into the LLC checklist that you're getting. This is not as meaty as the 19-pager. I apologize. But it's still going to be some really good quality stuff. And today, instead of just one special offer, I have 2 special offers for you guys that partner well with the LLC checklist that you might want to take advantage of. Okay, let's hop into the checklist today. So there are 5 steps that you need to go through, depending on your business, potentially more actually, but 5 basic steps that every business is going to have to go through in establishing their LLC, right? And so the first thing you want to do is search your entity name. You want to make sure that this is available with your state secretary of your state or your state corporate commission office, either or. That's who you're going to be registering the business with. You're going to do a search to make sure it's available. If it's not available, you need to have an additional name set aside. At this time, I would also like to introduce, even though we're not talking about it today, I would like to introduce trademarking to you, because trademarking and LLC have some similarities. They have some things that they share in common. Your entity name is one of them. If your name is not unique in nature, later down the line, you won't be able to trademark it, and that could be a problem. Yes, you could register a DBA, but understand a DBA does not hold the same weight and protections that an LLC, which is a limited liability company, by the way, that it holds. So we want to make sure that we are establishing our business with a solid foundation that it can grow with us over time, okay? So that's number 1. The second thing you want to do is, now that you have established that the name is available, both in the trademarking, if you want to register it down the line, which I highly recommend everyone registers, right? Their business name with the trademark, a federal trademark, not a state trademark, because unless you have a brick and mortar that is limited to that specific state, your business is at risk for a trademark infringement and your name getting stolen, right? So a federal trademark, just because in this modern day and age, everybody's business is online, right? So we want to make sure that we are doing a federal trademark for our business, right? So then you want to get your business actually registered. This is a fairly easy process. There are going to be some things and some names that you aren't familiar with there. For instance, you are going to need to know a registered agent potentially for your state. Some states require it. Some states allow you to assign it to someone else, and or you can be your own registered agent for the state, right? So registered agent essentially means that if any documents are filed with the state, if I need to sue your company, I look you up in the state registers list and I file your registered agent. So because of this, some states require that it is an actual entity in a business that has been registered with the state and avails themselves that they can hold this responsibility. Other states, they don't mind if it is you yourself personally who signs up as the registered agent for your business. This is also potentially known as a statutory agent. Also in this step, you want to make sure that you have your business address already acquired, right? Your business address, I highly, highly recommend it is not your home address, even if you are at home, because this is going to be public information. We don't want your home address on the web, right? We don't want any of your family members' address on the web as well, right? Lastly, in this step, you want to make sure that if you are using a virtual office, do not get a USPO box. This is very important. Google Maps can show you that it's not an actual building, right? So this is important, even if it's approved ultimately by the state. But later down the line, if you want to position yourself for funding and for business opportunities, not having an actual physical address, that might become an issue for you down the line, right? So just want you to know these things up top. Those are some of the most common issues people have when they're going through their application. They're just filling it in, they're throwing on their own information. You want to make sure that it is something that is protected ultimately and something that you won't have an issue with down the line as your business grows, because the length of your business and the time that you are in business is actually an asset that works towards you in gaining resources down the line, financial resources, right? Going up for business bids down the line. How long have you been in business? And so when you establish your LLC, even if you aren't actively using it necessarily, these things can be a stamp in time that give you length and credibility down the line, okay? So keep that in mind. Next, we want to talk about your entity ID. This is probably the easiest thing to acquire. You just go to the irs.gov. If you put it in the search engine, it's going to come up. I need to caution you because sometimes there are websites spamming people into paying for an EIN, which is an employee identification number. It is absolutely free, you guys. You go to irs.gov. The website is going to pull up. You go to the search engine in the upper right-hand corner. I do this all the time, right? It is in my head. I see it. You go to the upper right-hand corner and you're going to enter EIN number. And it's going to pop up and it's going to say apply for one under one. They're not necessarily in order because it's a search engine that you're doing it. So it's going to pull all the results from the IRS website. And you just click on the one where it says apply for EIN. Click on it. You go through the application. It's going to ask you your basic information. Who is the EIN going to be registered to? What's your social security number? What's your business address? What state are you registering in? When did you set up your entity state, right? So this has to happen after we set up our entity in the state, because potentially if it gets denied or we have to send additional information, our date might be off and it might not align with our EIN if we get our EIN immediately and that hasn't been approved, right? So the steps are in order and they're in order for a reason. This issue has come up before, so make sure you get your EIN once you have been approved for your business so there are no contradictory issues with the dates that align with that, right? So you enter your basic information. They'll ask you what the purpose of your business is. You insert that, and at the end they'll ask you if you want them to mail it to you or if you want to receive it immediately electronically. Listen, come on in, y'all. Come on in. Word of caution, you should probably get it electronically. That's the first thing, because mailing, government, UPS, it's just USPS. It takes forever, right? However, when you select the electronic option, you guys, please listen to the pain in my voice because I've done this. They are going to pop up with a PDF on your screen. I need you to screenshot that immediately, okay? Screenshot it. Then from the screenshot, I need you to go ahead and save that on your file somewhere, multiple places potentially, right? Let's save it in a drive somewhere. Let's save it in the cloud. We know it's accessible there, but let's also save it to our computer or right there, right? Email it to yourself for safekeeping as well. And I'm going to tell you why. There have been times in my haste, I usually do these in bulk, right? Because I have multiple businesses I'm filing this for. In the past, there have been businesses, I've obviously gotten the EIN number, right? I've registered, I've got everything set up. However, I have gone back to try to find it in my computer because I saved it, or in my haste it's saved under a name that I didn't remember and the file disappears and I can't find it. If you guys need to get it from the IRS, it is such a cumbersome process, you guys. It is cumbersome. The person who actually is registered via their social security number, they have to call, not the agent that got the EIN for them. So I can't call on behalf of my clients. My clients now have to call, which is a burden to them, right? You would be doing it for yourself, so you can call for yourself nonetheless. But depending on what time of year, which is usually most times of year, because there are 4 annual tax deadlines for businesses. There's one at the top of the year for people, individuals and families and whatnot. And there's refund checks coming out. So honestly, calendar year wise, the IRS is always busy, you guys, always busy. And if they think that your matter is not important enough, they will put on a message and say, your matter, we don't have enough agents to support you at this time. Please call back at another time, and hang up on you. Give you no more information. Please listen to what I'm saying. Just get your EIN, keep it in safe keepings. You will need it throughout the life of your business. Make copies of it, do whatever you need to do. Give it to a friend, a neighbor. Don't lose it. It's like your social security number for your business. It really is. And you want to make sure you have access to it once you get it. And once you finally do get in touch with someone, it takes them a long time to give you the documents. They mail it to you. It's not a 7 to 10 business days. It can take up to 10 weeks for a little document with your number. Now, what they will do is that they will read you the number off over the phone, so you do have access to it. However, most people want the actual document. No bank or institution that you are trying to get funding from is going to just take your EIN number unless you're doing an online application. And even then, usually they want proof of the actual letter from the IRS later down the line. Save yourself a headache. Just get it that way. So very easy to get, but once you get it, better hold on for dear life, okay? All right, so once we have the EIN number, we have our articles of incorporation. We can now go set up our bank account. This is crucial. We do not want to commingle our funds with our personal accounts because that is what's called piercing the corporate veil, which means that you are not treating your business as the person that we set it up to be when we registered it with the state. It became its own person, got its own identity. It's its own thing now, right? You manage it, you own it, you operate it. However, you need to operate it in a way that it is kept as an individual person separate from you, which means no commingling of the funds, right? You guys can get married. Y'all didn't come together and share all your funds. You guys are separate, and it has its own account and its own way of doing life. Remember that, okay? And last but not least, you're going to register for all of the subsequent licenses that you guys might need, right? So depending on your state, you're going to need a tax privilege license. You are going to need a sales license, right? Sales taxes that you have to pay depending on this gets a little meaty here. Depending on your city, your municipal, your state, and your local taxes. These are all things that you would want to consider and make sure you are responsible for, okay? And depending, of course, if you want any type of certifications for government funding, once you've acquired your business and set up, even startups can qualify for government bids, guys. So I have some videos coming. I actually did a video earlier with my good friend who helps businesses acquire government fundings, which is why I'm so passionate about making sure your foundation is laid properly, because there's only a small window for you to apply for these things. And if these things aren't together and you're having to go back and change it, it ultimately could delay you from the positioning of getting these funds. So we want to make sure that's important and that we are doing our due diligence with that. So that's it, guys. That is day 5. There are some mistakes on this checklist as well for you to check out, review. Let us know what you are thinking of the challenge so far. Are these resources being helpful? Is there anything that you want to see? The challenge is already planned, but if you want to see something, maybe I can incorporate it at the top of the year or in our next challenge that we might do for you guys. Just let me know. Today's 2 offers for you. Today's offer 1 is going to be an LLC course. If you feel you want more help, hands-on, I actually include an actual workbook. There are videos that walk you through this, totaling up to 30 minutes and breaking each section down with more information for you. And it includes a year of statutory agent included for you if you register in the state of Arizona. But essentially, that's going to be one of the special offers today. It's going to be half off for the LLC course, or you can get an operating agreement. So operating agreement is mandatory. These are the organizing documents that are required for each. If you have an LLC, it's an operating agreement. If you have a corporation, it's going to be bylaws, right? So an operating agreement is what you're going to need for an LLC, and making sure that it's the agreement between you and the business and how you guys are going to operate, essentially, right? So that is the special offer for today. Once again, thank you for joining us on day 2. Day 2 of the 12 Days of Christmas Challenge. Day 2 of the 12 Days of Christmas Challenge. We have been talking about an LLC checklist and how to make sure that your LLC is set up the right way and that you have the right legal foundation in place, right? If you have not signed up, it's not too late to get in on today's offer and all of the subsequent coming offers for the challenge. However, you missed out on day 1. It's okay. Sign up so you don't miss another day of the challenge, because you want to get all of the goodies that we have coming your way. Thanks for tuning in once again, and we'll see you next time or tomorrow. Yeah.